Welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So I'm coming to you today from these beautiful hills in Perth in the center of the yellow human wave spell. So this is 13 days dedicated to evolving our capacity to stand in our own free will, to reclaim our sovereignty as, natural born creatures from Pachamama, from the stars, from the sun. We are this alchemy that has come together to create this incredible human experience, but it's up to each of us to step up and fully own our own inner sovereignty, to really understand through our experiences, our trials and errors, what it means to be truly self-responsible, to be truly self-accountable for our actions. Because it is through that responsibility, reclaiming our ability to respond in each moment, that we begin to understand free will. And through that, we begin to be able to consciously listen through our heart intelligence, not through the logical conditioned mind that society is filled with indoctrination, but to truly drop in and listen with our heart's intelligence to the wisdom that we are surrounded by at all times in order to influence our decisions, to decide how we wish to use our human experience in this lifetime. And so this is something that's very confronting, because there's this process of awakening where we go from, it's much like when we're children, we look to our parents and, we have this illusion that, these parents are these God figures that know how things are. And even if they're abusive or whatever, they just have this authority that we hand to them as children in this world. And we trust that they'll do the right things by us, that they will look after us, and that we have to listen to them, and that what they say is correct. And then we have our siblings, and then we have our schooling system, and our friends, and our communities, and through all of this human experience of the childhood, we are constantly giving our authority to the outside world, feeling that, well, they must know better than me. And so part of this awakening process that our collective is going through right now, and individually, is really acknowledging that those parent figures, those authority figures that were our parents when we were children, and they're our government systems now, our economic systems, our advisors, our, all these people around that are telling us as if they know what is correct. We're going through an awakening that is saying, it's time to reclaim that. It's time to reclaim your inner authority, that no one outside of you can know what is correct for you. They can't. They can give you advice based on their wisdoms. But take it as that only. Advice based on their wisdoms. And this is what's really scary, because when we step into that space of free will and sovereignty, it means you can no longer blame anyone else. Up until now, it's been very easy to say, oh, it's the government, oh, it's Labour, it's Liberal, it's left, it's right, or, it's the rich capitalists, or it's the hippies and their alternative stuff, or it's there's always sides where we're projecting blame all over the place, to religions, to cultures, to belief systems and dogmas, and we just keep saying, I'm just one person, I'm doing my best. That's not true. Because as long as we are giving our authority out like that to the world around us, we're actually giving our free will up. And we are still indoctrinated, enslaved into the cultural mind. And so today, we enter into the sphere, so the frequency of the white resonant mirror archetype. So the white resonant mirror. And so today's energy, this center point of the yellow human wave spell, is saying that in order to have this full human experience, in order to really bring in your energy and really stand in your free will, we need to embrace this archetype of the white resonant mirror, which is saying that in order to be fully human, in order to be able to stand in your own sovereignty and free will, you must learn to polish your own mirror. You must learn to really perceive your reality around you through a clear lens, a clear mirror. Because the world outside of us is a reflection at all times, irrelevant of the actual manifestations. Think about this. How you respond to some incident that happens in your life can tell you volumes about who you are in that moment, what frequency you're coming from, fear or love. You know, what are your greatest fears? What are your greatest hopes? All of these secrets of who you are and who you are becoming are hidden in every moment in the reflection of the world around you. It's hidden in how you turn up in those conflicts, in those moments. And instead of looking outward to fix the reflection, it's like trying to take a mirror and reach into the mirror to change the reflection of you that's behind this glass that doesn't even exist. You know, you can't put your hand through the mirror to change it. But what you can do is you can get the spray and wipe or your vinegar or whatever you use to clean, and you can give that mirror a good scrub. You know, bit of grease and bit of elbow work, and actually do the hard work to clean the mirror so that at least you can see the reflection cleanly. And then from there, use this reflection that you see in the mirror, that you see in the world around you, use those reflections to see, what is it showing in me? And it doesn't mean if someone's abusing you, look for the abuser in yourself. Now, in some ways that is true, but let's not get caught up into that. It's, how am I responding to this abuse that's happening? How am I responding to this conflict or this challenge that's happening around me? And why? And then look for wisdom around you that shows up in your world around you to guide you into, why am I reacting like this? What is it that is burning inside? What part of me, in my heart, in my vulnerable space that I'm trying to protect, is feeling threatened by this thing that's happening? And then what begins to take place is you mutate your reactive patterns and lift the frequency of your genome to a higher space, and you begin to perceive your reality from a much more positive place. And that in turn creates this biofeedback that lets your DNA know that it's safe. Even though there's conflicts and the rest, it doesn't have to behave like a caveman or cavewoman of the past, that you can be present and bring your full game to the table. So breathe, clean your mirror, find yourself. And I had this experience this morning. I was down on the archery range, and I just had one of these moments where everything was lining up. You know, I was just really in the moment. I was not thinking about anything. And I was pulling the bowstring back and lining up the target. And out of the corner of my eye, I saw this movement. And it was a little red belly bird. It was this little cutest little thing. And I just stopped. And for this moment, it seemed like time just froze. There was this little bird just wiggling around on the tree, on the fig tree. And it was just making this beautiful song. You might even be able to hear it in the background. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed that wind, this gentle autumn wind that was warm with the sun, but still a bit fresh, just gently caressing my face and my skin as here I am, deep in focus. And then I noticed the beautiful trees and the hills that I'm surrounded by here. For a brief moment, I became so immersed in my surroundings, there was nothing else. And I can tell you the love that burst out of my heart for nothing but existence itself and simply in the presence of being was incredible. And of course then the mind kicks in and wants to analyze this moment and all the rest, and suddenly the juice kind of drifts off a little bit. And that's what this game is all about, this game of being human. It's about cleaning our mirrors, taking care of our inner turbulence so that we can be more present in every moment to really, be awake and aware with all of this magic that surrounds us. Even if you're in a big stinky city full of industrial complexes and all the rest, there's beauty there. There's beauty everywhere if you can use the mirror to clean your inner world and your reaction patterns, and instead come from a place of free will that responds to the situations around you. And that is where you become an empowered creator. And so if you happen to be near Ubud in Bali this weekend, I'm going to be putting on another 2-day deep dive with my brother Dan Regan. It's a Gene Keys Venus sequence deep dive where we're going to go into this exact concept. And we're going to unravel it and look at your personal design as to how are you triggered? What is it that gets you in that place of fear? And what is its higher frequency feel like and taste like? The last one we did was a big sellout, and this one looks to be a big one as well. So I'll pop a link into that event under this video if you happen to be around. Otherwise, you can always check out the Gene Keys online. So with that, I'll close off this report, and I'll see you in the next wave spell. So much love. In Lakesh.